Students, we are going to start the first unit. Actually, in class itself, I have given some introduction about the first unit, and we have seen also, even though a few students were absent, and I'm making this video for a revision purpose. Multiple times you can watch. Okay. So during examination, multiple times you can watch this video, and you can proceed with your exams. So the unit one, we have the basics of computers. So basics of computers, you know. So we are going to study about the input devices, output devices, and we are going to study about meaning and definition of the computer, and what is software, and what are the hardwares we have. So everything we are going to cover in the first unit. Okay, we will get start with this first unit. First of all, we have meaning and definition of the computer. The meaning of the computer we have here. A computer is an electronic device that receives input, processes data according to the instruction. That instructions are nothing, programs, stores information and produces output, which means computers will take input and it will process according to the instruction what we have given, which means we are, for example, we are clicking our photos through mobile. Mobile also is a mini computer, and the mobile software what we have for camera, the camera works under the software. Okay, that software is nothing, it is a set of instruction. That software we are calling as a program. Okay, we are programming a software to work in a certain way. Okay, for example, WhatsApp, it has its own task, it performs some task in WhatsApp, and Instagram also we have some task, and we have some other application, it performs some task, at least something it will do, which means what, we have designed that software in that way, that's why it's working like that. Okay, calculator, you take calculator, it receives input. So as computer receives input, calculator also it receives input, and it will process it, which means the process is nothing, it will add, it will subtract, it will divide, it will multiply, small things it will do. This addition, subtraction, multiplication, everything we have given as a instructions, we have given as an instruction to the calculator. That's why it is performing that operation, otherwise it will not do. After processing it, it will produce output that we have here, and some of the calculator has the memory to store the calculation what you have done. Presently, the smartphones whatever we are using, we can revisit the history of the calculation. If you remember, you can try in your calculator itself, mobile calculator itself. Okay, stores information means the output will be stored. Okay, the output will be stored. This is the meaning of the computer. Okay, next. The computer machine is that helps us perform tasks, solve problems, and manage information automatically. So perform task means it will process the input and it will produce the output. Solve problems means for any given problem. For example, in practical also we have done some task like the task will be like this. You have to make a mark sheet. Whomever got less than 35, they are failed. Whomever got more than 35, they are passed. This is the task. This is the problem we have given. In that problem, how we have to solve? We have to use the formula and we have to find it who are all failed, who are all passed based on the marks what they have scored. Okay. So this center we can consider as a problems that can be solved through computers. And manage information automatically means we are storing multiple files in the system, movies, documents, and other files also that we are managing. Managing means nothing. Sometimes we will edit it, the same document we will edit it and we will store into the system. So this editing options and all available in the software. Okay. Next, some key parts we have in the computer. We have input devices. In input devices, we have keyboard, mouse to enter the data, and CPU we have for central processing. CPU is called a central processing unit. That is the abbreviation for this. It processes the data. They process the input. Next, we have memory or storage. Memory or storage both are same, which stores the data and programs. So some softwares we will install and we will use those things and all programs, and some data we will store in the system itself, maybe your pictures, photos, videos, audio clips, PDFs, a Word document, Excel document. If this one are called as files, and inside that we will be having data. Okay, and here we have output devices also. Output devices we have monitor, printer, and we have output device, monitor we have, printer we have, and we have some other output component also. We have this one now. When we print flex, that printer is called as laser printer. Okay, for flex and all we will use laser printer. That's laser printer. It is a one kind of output device. Okay, and speakers we have speakers, and we have mobile screen, LED display, these all things under output devices. Okay, in short, we can call a computer as a data processed gives useful result. Okay, so this is all about the meaning and definition of the computer. Next, characteristics we have. Characteristics of computers we have speed, accuracy, diligence, storage capacity, and versatility, automation, reliability, multitasking. So in examination, you can write any five or any six based on the question where it has been asked for. If it is in 2 mark only, you list out these characteristics. If it is asked in 5 marks, you have to explain what it is. Okay, each and every one. Uh, Coming to speed, computers can process millions or even billions of instructions per second, making them extremely fast. Actually, computers works in nanoseconds. We human beings are familiar with what? Minutes, and we can say seconds. Okay, we are familiar with seconds, which means our brain is capable to read the things are happening in seconds, not in nanoseconds. For example, if you are running per second, you can calculate how much fast you are going for, but nanoseconds we cannot calculate because our human being brain is not designed for to calculate the nanoseconds. So computer are more faster because it works in nanoseconds, not in seconds. Okay, so the least one we have nanosecond. So about seconds, if you speak first a nanosecond, then millisecond. After that, we have microsecond. After that, we have seconds. Okay, so which is the least one? Nano is the least one. Okay, 1,000 nanoseconds is equal to 1 millisecond. 1,000 milliseconds is equal to 1 microsecond, and 1,000 microseconds is equal to 1 second. That we know already. Okay, so if you want to make a clarity about this, you Google it and see. Okay, so computer works in nanoseconds. That's why it will make an illusion for us that it is working parallelly. That's why it processes millions or even billions of instruction per second. So as I said, we are calculating everything in these seconds, but computers will do its works in nanoseconds. That you have to understand. That's why it is extremely fast. How it is fast, how we are predicting it is fast, because we are familiar in seconds, not in nanoseconds. For us it seems like to be what? It's very fast. What if human beings are able to read nanoseconds, then we cannot say this computer is extremely fast, right? Because if it is not extremely fast, then we are able to read nanoseconds. Okay, understood. So speed, accuracy. When you're coming to accuracy, 2 plus 1 is what? 3. We cannot say 2 plus 1 is 3.4. No. So if any computer gives result 2 plus 1 is equal to 3.4, that is not a computer. We are human beings. We can make a mistake, but computer never makes. That's why it is accuracy. And we have diligence. Computer do not get tired or bored. It need electricity to do its task. They can perform repetitive tasks continuously without losing efficiency. For example, 2 plus 1, if it is adding within 2 nanoseconds in one day, the next day also it will do in the same speed only. The next day, speed will not get increased, speed will not get decrease, because the CPU speed in class itself already I have displayed, and I have shown you gigahertz. The CPU speed will be calculated in hertz. HZ. This is the unit of speed. Next, we have storage capacity. So it can store large amounts of data and retrieve it quickly when it needed. So computers are able to store large number of data and quickly it can retrieve from the database. What is database in this? Database is nothing, the storage. Okay. Coming to versatility, computers can perform many different types of tasks such as calculation, document editing, gaming, programming, etc. So multiple purpose we will use. That's why it is called as what? Versatility. Next, automation. Once a program is given, computer can work automatically without further human intervention, which means we no need to instruct the computer again and again to do the task, because already we have several programs to perform some task. Automatically it will do. That's why it is automation. Best example, um, when you go to any railway station, there will be a machine which gives e-ticket, which means it produces ticket. When you can source, you can give the source and the destination, and it will give the response as a ticket. Okay, this is automated. It is programmed one. Okay, coming to reliability, computers provide consistency result and can be trusted for long-term operations. So as I said, it never lies. That's why it's a trusted for long-time operations. Long-term operations. For example, today, if you're doing one business, for that you are getting some profit, you can calculate the next year if I'm going with the same speed, how much profit I can get. This long-term operation we can perform. That is reliability. Next, multitasking. They can perform multiple tasks at the same time. For example, browsing, playing music, and downloading files. So, which means we can open multiple tabs. Okay, we can open multiple tabs, so that it is called as multiple task. Multiple task means multiple process we can open. So which is called as process. See, I am opening this browser, and here I am opening one tab, and here I can open YouTube, and here I can open something, here I can open something, and here I can open something. Understood? So we can open multiple tab like this, and we can perform the operation. That's why it is called as multiple multitasking. Coming to next one, we have applications of computers. So we have seen what characteristics of computer, we have seen meaning and definition of computer, we have seen. Coming to application of computers, computers are used in almost every field of life. Some major applications of computers are listed here. So for education purpose, we are using, for business purpose, we are using, for healthcare, we are using, banking, communication, entertainment, science and research, government, transportation, defense. So these are called as applications of computers, right? So in education, what we are doing, online learning, digital classrooms, and exams we are conducting through online, preparing for assignments, presentations and research, education softwares and simulations. So education software, we have Byju's, and we have some other education software. If you go to Play Store and if you see the other languages also, we can learn using educational softwares. Business, accounting, payroll, and inventory management, online transaction and e-commerce, communication through emails and video meetings. Next, healthcare in hospitals we are using. Next, we have banking. Banking, we have ATM services, online banking. We have managing customer accounts, and we have security and fraud detection system also we have in the banking sector. Coming to communication, we are email. We have email stands for electronic mail. Messaging in your phone you have, and video conferencing, social media platforms, fast sharing of information worldwide. So these are the options we have for communication. Next, entertainment. We we have movies in online itself we can watch. Listening to music, Spotify we have. Next, we have playing games online. We can do creating and editing videos and graphics. We can do in the entertainment. But next, science and research, data analysis and simulations, space research and experiments, weather forecasting. Next, coming to government, record keeping and administration, e-governance services, census and public data management. Coming to transportation, online ticket we can book, and traffic control and navigation, GPS we can make. So GPS, what is the expansion for GPS? Global Public Service. Coming to airlines, airline and railway management. To avoid the traffic, we are using computers and its softwares. Traffic, the signals manually we can make in road signals, manually we can control it. Even though we have softwares to control it, sometimes it will be inactive. Coming to defense system, so to control weapons during the war, we control the weapons and the simulations. Simulation is nothing. Simulation means a software which gives an illusion that we are in the real world. That is called simulation. For example, flight simulator, it's a software where we can play with, we will feel that we are sitting in the flight and we are controlling it. Okay, so when people are going for pilot training, first they will practice in simulators, softwares, then only they are allowed to sit in the aircraft for the flight. Next, communication system also. Which communication system? For defense communication system we are using computers. So this is all about applications of computers. Okay, coming to next one, elements of the computing process. So in this, elements of computing process describes how the computer works step by step to convert data into useful information. uh, so if I want to give example for this, so as we know, computer takes input from the user and it will process it and it will gives the output. So as you see in the steps, input, processing, output, and finally output will be storing into storage. Okay. So here, input, it will be given by the user through keyboard, mouse, or scanner. Processing, who will do? CPU will do, central processing unit. And output will be displayed on screen, as well as it will get stored into the secondary memory or random access memory temporarily. So if data is getting stored in random access memory, it is temporary. When the power is there, it will get stored. Otherwise, when you turn off the computer, the data will be vanished from the random access memory. Vanished in the sense it will be removed from the random access memory. The random access memory will be empty when the power is not there. If you want to keep the data permanently, then we have to store the data into the hard disk or SSD. SSD means solid state drive. So this is a new technology we are using instead of hard disk. Even some laptops has SSD as well, SSD also. Okay. So hard disk plus SSD, some laptops we have, some systems we have. Hard disk itself we have, and SSD itself also we have. Okay, it's your choice when you buy a laptop or hard disk. When you buy a laptop or desktop, you can choose your choice. Okay. About random access memory, about hard disk, about SSD. I'll talk about this the end of the video. Uh, Next, classification of computers. So we have analog computers, we have digital computers, we have hybrid computers. Coming to classification of computers, computers are classified in different ways based on their working size and purpose. So first, analog computers we will go for. So work with continuous data, temperature, speed, used in scientific and engineering application. Example, speedometer. Actually, analog computer means which we are using without any software. By using mechanical thing, we are making the computers to work. That is called as analog, which means analog clocks, analog watches. Okay. So speedometer means in bikes and all we will be having digital speedometers nowadays, but previously we had a speedometer which works under mechanical things. So that is called as one type of analog computer. Okay, analog computer means by having some mechanical components that computer is going to work. That is called as analog computer. Okay, work with continuous data. Best example we will take our bike. In our bike, the speedometer is connected. The speedometer wire is connected with the front tire. So in front tire, what happens when it rotates? It reads the speed of the tire, how it rotates. So when it rotates 180, once it rotates 360 degree, then it is counted as one complete round. For that, that will be taken as a reading into the analog speedometer, and that will be processed, and then we will be having some mechanical things inside that will move based on the rotation. For example, 360 degree, if it rotates within some nanoseconds, then there will be a move in your speedometer 1, 2, 3, 4. This is an example for analog computers. Coming to digital computers, work with discrete data, numbers and symbols. This we know presently we are dealing with this. Our present generation, we are dealing with digital computers, not in analog computers. Most common type PCs, laptops, smartphones, which works in digital computers. Coming to hybrid, combination of analog and digital computers. We are using in hospitals, weather forecasting, and research. So hospitals we have digital computers. For few things we need analog computers to get result uh, accuracy as well as the readability. This we have to see. Okay, hybrid computer means it's a combination of analog and digital computers. Weather forecasting, we have digital hybrid computers. It's a combination of analog and digital because weather forecasting requires some mechanical components to observe the weather condition. So to observe the weather condition, we need analog. That signal will be converted into digital. Then digital computer produces the output. What the weather condition will be in the next week by identifying the weather condition in the present day, we can predict the weather condition what it is going to come in a week. Okay, so the future we can predict the future weather condition we can predict by using these computers. And in research also we are using mostly in physics research they will use analog and digital computers. Okay, next, the second thing, classification based on size. So here we have some list of computers. This is classification based on working principle. So here I have listed here working size and purpose. Working principle means we can take this one as an example. Coming to classification based on size. So where we have size here, here we have size. For that answer we have here classification based on size. So microcomputers, it's small, affordable, and widely used. For example, in lab we are using, and laptops we are using. This under microcomputers comes under. Coming to mini computers, it is a medium-sized system used by organizations support multiple user. For example, in our college where we have mini computers we have in office, which controls all the system. Which means if from office, if you want to share a file, a large file, we can put it to a sharing network that will be shared with all the computers in our building. Okay, that's why it's an organization. In IT companies and all, we will be having many computers. Coming to mainframe computers, large computers with high processing power used in banks, airlines, and big companies. Mainframe computers, the computers which has high configuration. Okay, high configuration in the sense the processing speed of the CPU will be very high, and the memory size also of the mainframe computer will be very large, so that we can store more data. And if more data is stored, then the process speed has to be high for the CPU. The CPU will work effectively and efficiently. Okay, so that's why they are using banks, airlines, and big companies, because in this sectors, banks, airlines, and big companies, the outputs, the results we need instantly. That's why mainframe computers, it's large computer with high processing power. Coming to supercomputers, the most powerful computers used for complex calculation like weather forecasting, space research. Supercomputers we have in India and China, in other countries also, but it's very rare having multiple supercomputers in a country. There will be few supercomputers in a country which is used to predict the weather forecasting, space research, okay, and to perform the complex calculation. What is complex calculation here? See, when we launch a rocket, and that rocket is going to land in the see, the rocket can be launched because of some satellite, to drop the satellite on the space or to reach any planet. For that and all, we need calculation. If you do the calculation, then only you will come to know how much petroleum it requires and how much distance it is going to travel. The number of days we can calculate by the calculation only. Those calculation and all will be complex, which means difficult. That's why we are using supercomputers to predict this all things. So we don't want not any, we don't want much human power, human resource for this to do the calculation. The computer itself will do because it's programmed already. Okay, so this is all about um, classification of computer based on size, based on principle, based on purpose. Now we will see based on purpose. For what purpose we are using computer, based on purpose, how it is classification. So we have general purpose and special purpose. That's it. General purpose used for variety of tasks, personal computers, what we are using. Special purpose means designed for some specific task, embedded system like washing machines. Washing machine is one type of computer. ATM machine is one type of computer. Fridge is one type of computer because fridge has the PCBs. PCBs means nothing, the chips. Chips in the sense the boards, electric circuit boards. Okay, and it's programmed also. And music system, televisions, and which other devices are capable to display the output or sending data, receiving data, and which works automatically. Everything we can consider as embedded systems. This is called as embedded systems, embedded system to perform some specific tasks. See, washing machine, we can wash the clothes. More than that, we cannot do anything. In washing machine, we cannot withdraw the money. In washing machine, we cannot calculate anything. In washing machine, we cannot perform addition operation, right? Which means what? The washing machine is performed for some specific task. This comes under what? Purpose. Okay. All right. So I think you understood about this all things. So in next video, we will continue the other things. Thank you.